Whoa. Right, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV, and welcome to a live show with Saeed TV. He is inside
We're in the
the
building. We're in the
building
building.
with his new setup as well.
We're here. Brand new
You're flying,
setup.
lad.
You get me? We're living life, mate. We're living life. So yeah, man.
Living
We're
life,
active.
Saeed.
Yeah, man. We're active. We're active in a building. What are you telling me, gentlemen? What are you telling me?
Lads, I am chilling. I am vibey. I am happy. We literally
No.
made this
Of course
stream
you
like a
are.
last minute because I didn't even know England were playing. England were announcing the squad today. I had no
Wow,
idea.
you're such a
Zilch.
England patriot. You know what I mean? You're such an England patriot. But then again, you're not asked about England anyway, are you? You know what I mean? Down
I'm
in
just
the south, man, they don't really
I'm
care.
just here. I am just here to see if Trent or Hendo Nino made the squad. Besides that, lads, I am vibes, and the World Cup's gonna be a belter.
To be honest with you, man, I don't think I've been a massive England fan since like the 2018 World Cup, where I feel like for me, I was like a mad fan because like Southgate and the first World Cup he had, that was it. After that, mate, I've just been like, meh. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. As long as my players are not injured and all my players do play well, then that's all I care about. But other than that, you know what I mean? It's one of them, man. But we're going to be getting into it, man. We're getting into lots of topics to talk about as well, man. Some people are out, some people are in.
Talk about and time. I actually am getting the squad up right now as we speak, my man Saeed.
Yeah, get it up, man. Interesting.
Of the stream. Let's do
Are you here? Yeah, you're here now. You're here. Yeah, you're here.
Belter, am I sweet again?
Yeah, you're sweet. Yeah, you're sweet. Yeah, you got that internet curse when you upload something on the internet. But yeah, you know what? I feel like for me,
lads.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When the when it's obviously it's announced, Madison's in there. That was kind of came out beforehand. But I can't lie to you, the midfield is very, very mid, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's mid. When I say mid, it's very, very mid, man. It's not great, you know what I mean? And for me,
Six midfielders.
I know, but they're all the same, man. And I don't think for me, Henderson should be in that squad. I know I'm on your channel, but I know you know what I mean. Liverpool fans love Henderson, but he's not going to give you anything other than experience. Is he there just to be like, you know how Beckham was there in 2016, just to be kind of like, you know, supporting the group. He's just there to support the lads in it. Come on, man. Come on, like for me,
lads, have we only got six midfielders?
Yeah, man. 100%, man. Can you share the screen? Can you share the screen?
I can share the screen. In fact, I'll do that right now just because if I go like, you know, let me know, Saeed, I'll share the screen. You keep speaking while I'm sorting this.
Get it up if you want. If not, I can get it up.
I'll be able to sort it. I'll be able to sort it.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah,
boom,
man.
share. Let me know how this goes.
6 midfielders. Yeah, that's Belter, mate. Belter.
Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see this.
So, right, chat, what we're chatting. So, we've got Pickford, we've got Pope, we've got Ramsdale. Defensively, Trent's there, thank God. Connor Cody, I think that's actually smart with the system that England play. I think that Connor Cody will benefit that system.
Yeah.
Facts. But you know, like even Eric Dyer and Maguire, I know like they're not great, overwhelmingly great options, but again,
in a back three.
System matter. Yeah, they might not be bad. What Southgate trusts.
Yeah, exactly that, man. Luke Shaw. Yeah, we haven't got left backs, have we? Who? Who's that? Tomori should have been in the squad for me. I'm taking out. Who am I taking out from there? I'm taking out Eric Dyer or Connor Cody, one of them two. I'm bringing in Tomori. This is what I mean. Tomori, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. He needs to change nationalities now. Yeah, because they're taking a piss out of him. Do what Abraham and them and not Abraham, other players have done. Just change nationality, man. Because they're just taking a piss out of you, mate.
Wait.
So
who else could Tomori play for? Because I always think that these countries could be well better if they had Tomori and that.
I don't know what he is. He might be from like I don't know because you've got like obviously Iwobi went to Nigeria, so I actually don't know where he's actually from. But if he's from any what do you call it, a country that from Africa, just go there, man, and just become the player you are and just enjoy being the main man. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to prove anything to Southgate. Like you know, you've been doing well. Is it Nigeria? Yeah, Nigeria then. Or Canada. He should have went Canada.
Go down Nigeria.
I'm sure Canadian. Yeah, Canada or Nigeria. So
Tamori and Alphonso Davies to win the World Cup, lad. Alphonso Davies and Tamori doing the business. What do you think about this as well, Saeed? Shout out to LFC Spectre. We're going to be getting into the comments, guys. Because it's been a mad, hectic show. Last minute plans. Go subscribe to Saeed. Absolutely massive that you do it. Also, big up to everyone who tunes into the last minute stream as well. The link is in the title. Saeed, LFC Spectre says Callum Wilson over Ivan Toney. I've been seeing loads about Ivan Toney. I would agree with LFC Spectre that Ivan Toney deserves a place over Callum Wilson. What do you see?
I'm not going to lie to you. I need to look at all the strikers, but I think for me, Callum Wilson, it's again, obviously, it is recency bias, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Callum Wilson has been bagging in goals for Newcastle. I don't think it's a case of one or the other, but they've similar styles. They're very, very good at hold-up play. They're very, very good finishers. They're very, very good penalty takers. So... yeah. It's one or the other. It's one of them unfortunate situations. But I feel like with him, he's had that pending investigation. I don't know if you've heard about it yet, but Ivan Toney is under investigation by the FA.
The betting
and it's happened now. I feel like he's been very, very harshly done by. I feel like he's been pretty much robbed because at the end of the day, why all of a sudden are you going to do the investigation now? 7 months in to investigation. Oh, you know what? We'll do it on the week of selections for England. We'll just suspend you. I think that's a bit harsh. And that's ultimately why he's not in the team. I generally do.
Do you know what, Saeed? I didn't even think about that, and you're 100% right. If he has got these things going on, they're not going to take him. The question I was originally going to ask is, do you think they just see a lot in Callum Wilson if he's fit? Because you can talk about who's been fit and who hasn't. The England managers look at it so differently to fans. And I think it's rightly or wrongly, they don't go off form. They go off like their career, what they've seen of this player. They don't care about form. And you know, in some ways, Saeed, that's a good thing because form isn't always what's going to benefit your team. But they should take it into consideration somewhat. And Callum Wilson, as good as he's been whenever I've seen him play, it's when he plays, it's when he's available, and it's if he can be that reliable option to come off the bench, to play that high intensity, to get that goal without suffering an injury. Now, I do know that we'll probably be able to replace him if he does get injured.
Of course.
I don't know, lads. I think it's a mad one with Callum Wilson being in there. As highly as I rate him, Ivan Toney would have been the one for me. And I think, you know, investigations aside, this is football, people. This is football.
In terms of strikers, I just think, who's in there? Who's in the strikers department? Who's on the list?
So to remind you of the forwards that are in there right now. Are you talking about the candidates who could go or who is going?
No, who is going there? It says a forward.
So Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, James Maddison, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, and Callum Wilson. So out and out number 9, you've got Callum Wilson and Harry Kane. If you want to say Rashford, then I don't know, I'll let you do that. But they're the main option. I don't think that screams goals. I think we were stronger when we had like Harry Kane, Sturridge and Vardy.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. We had more goals in there.
Just me.
That's true, you know.
That's Sturridge, yeah. Do you know if he actually could have played for England a little bit more? I think we could have got somewhere, you know, like if he just could have stayed fit, lads.
That's the problem. He didn't stay fit enough. I think 2016 was his kind of big major tournament. I was in the 2014 one as well.
Why are you bringing Callum Wilson with the same injury issues when you have still got other options there?
But I still think
who would have you taken?
I still think Callum Wilson gives us a different option. I just think it's unfortunate that the FA have investigated Ivan Toney just before the selection. That for me is wrong. And I think for me, if I'm Ivan Toney, I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'm in my peak of my powers. I'm 26. I should have been in that squad. You know what I mean? And this is what they've done. And this is the problem. And what they've done as well is they've put Maddison as a forward, but he's more of a midfielder. So then they put Calvin Phillips in there. Again, why does Calvin Phillips need to be in that squad? Why? He's not played it.
Yeah, no.
Again, it comes back to Southgate. Coming back to the fact that, you know what? He's picking personnel favourites rather than...
He does have to go with Calvin Phillips, though, just with the low amount of options that we've got in midfield. Because if you think about it,
it's mid.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, man.
Like, England have gone from having Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard to this. It's like the midfield has switched with the fullbacks, and all the good fullbacks are in one position, and then you've got the midfielders as well. Do you think there's a shout that maybe Trent could be included in the midfield today by Southgate, or the midfield or whatever it is?
He could, because I remember I went to the game against, I know it's a kind of a bad example, but I went to the game, England versus Andorra, and in the second half, Trent played in that midfield role, and he was playing unbelievably well. So I feel like for me, he could excel in that role, but at the same time, I think a wing-back system would probably suit Trent more, so then he has less defensive, responsibilities. He has less defensive kind of, duties. Then the back three can help out, because England just don't have a plan. So what they do is they subsidize what they're doing, and they kind of make sure that they defend first. So it's risk evasive. It's not attacking. It's not kind of, having the front foot and having the impetus to score goals. Maddison, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like we're getting excited, Maddison, about this too much, because I feel like he's going to bring him not to play him. And he's only doing it so that people can get off his back. Give you any money, Maddison doesn't play. Give you any money now. We're literally
I think you're bang on, Saeed.
He does it. He did it last time, man. The World Cup. 100%. He's only
bringing it. Yeah. To break it down, right? You've got Raheem Sterling, who we know is going to play over him. We know Marcus Rashford's going to play over him. We know that. Yep. Bukayo Saka is going to play over him. Phil Foden for sure. Maddison isn't being looked at as a suitable option unless you include him in the midfield, which they're not going to do when you've got Rice, Phillips, and they like to have the reserved approach of, okay, let's sit back, let's try and absorb pressure. I'm not going to lie,
Did it with Jack Grealish. He did it with Jack Grealish.
Brought him, never played him.
He never played him. He brought him off the bench, and he tried to do this, and then everyone was taking photos of Grealish on the bench, like looking a bit like, when are you bringing him on? This is what they do, and this is what Southgate's doing. He's very clever in what he's doing. Yeah. He doesn't want to make it, I didn't bring Maddison, and the next thing he's going to be scrutinised every step of the way.
Do you think it's calculated? Do you think he's brought Maddison just to get the fans off his back?
Listen, he was getting booed. Who did we lose to? Was it Hungary? We lost Hungary by, was it 4-0 or something like that? Listen, he's doing it because he's under pressure. He's getting booed. And I think for me, it's one of them where, you know what? I'm just going to bring him on, tag him along, and I'm going to be like, right, well, England fans, I've actually brought him in here. So what can you say? What can you lot say? I brought him here, so shut up, basically. You know what I mean? Like, basically, shut up. Like, what these guys talking about? So I think he's done that for that reason. That's my own opinion. That's just the way I'm looking at it. If people have a different opinion, then that's fair enough.
Do you think Sancho should have made this squad?
No. Listen, I'm not going to try and be this kind of like, which we have to understand. And I'm not going to lie to you as well. Listen, Gallagher, I'm going to respect him as a young kid, but should he really be in that squad? Like,
Gallagher,
it's a Palace, but come on, man. What's his star qualities? He runs around. He's just come on, man. He's more than a question to you.
I'll respond a question to you. Yeah, then. Who do you take over Gallagher? So, instead of Gallagher, bear in mind, we've got 6 midfielders. 6 midfielders to the point where Mason Mount got demoted from an attacking player to a midfielder.
I'm not going to lie to you. I ain't going to lie to you, but I feel like for me, bring someone like Harvey Elliott is a bit different. I feel like Harvey Elliott is different.
Okay. I'm feeling Saeed saying
bring Harvey Elliott.
He'd be forward.
Harvey Elliott is more different to what Conor Gallagher is. I think Gallagher is more of a runner. I think Harvey Elliott's more technical, more agile. You know what I mean? Like he can do things that you think, it's not too bad. That, you know what I mean? He might be able to kind of create something out of nothing. Rather, Conor Gallagher's more.
People, do you know what's funny, Saeed? People will probably be like, Saeed's chatting shit. This is a bang-on comment. Harvey's played more football than Conor Gallagher recently. He's got more first-team minutes. He's played really, really well in a very underperforming team. And Gallagher hasn't even been able to get into Chelsea, who is also a very underperforming team. That's not the only logic that you should use to say, okay, you should be playing above him or whatever.
But does he have any star qualities, Conor Gallagher? That's my own opinion. I don't think he has.
The question I'll ask you, do you think he had star quality at Palace?
The thing is, when you're a big fish in a small pond, does it tell the full story? I'm not sure. But you know what? I'm going to give him credit. I don't want to discredit him, but he played well at Crystal Palace. But I just look at him at Chelsea now, where he's in an actual established club and the standards are there. I don't see any star qualities from him. Don't get me wrong, he's 22, can still get better, and I think he will get better. But right now, I think he could have been in the next World Cup, and I think, you know what, that would have been okay, or the next Euros. This one here, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about him. And Phillips as well, again. What? But then again, you just told me who else is out there.
Calvin Phillips has got to come, though, Saeed. Like, that's the only thing. It's the options. So even
what about
though you
Henderson,
might not be happy...
Should Henderson really be in there?
Who goes above him?
James Ward-Prowse. Why is James Ward-Prowse not in this squad? Set pieces, penalty taking. You need players that are in there to have different kind of like.
So we are, Saeed. When you talk about similar players, you've got Rice, you've got Phillips, you've got Henderson, and then you've got. And when I say similar, I mean holding players, CDM, the people who prefer to play the number 6. So besides those three, you've then got Bellingham, Gallagher, and Mount, who I would suggest are more balanced or further forward midfielders. You've got 3 players there to play the holding role. He uses 2 midfielders to play the holding role, doesn't Gareth Southgate? So therefore, Henderson is just that extra option. I don't think he's going to be playing or starting. I think he's just the extra option that you can bring on.
That tells you a lot about this England team, then. It tells you a lot about the England in terms of midfielders. Yeah. We are lacking in serious midfielders for England level. We need a bit. Obviously, Bellingham's the new kind of modern prototype, if you call it. Like, we've got the new kind of style of midfielder, box to box, technical, strong, powerful. That's what we got. We've got a good attribute in that one. But I'm just looking at Henderson, thinking he's in there just to be an experienced figurehead. You know what? When you look at it in isolation, you probably do need that. You know what I mean? But it just depends on what Southgate is doing. You know?
Well, if you're talking about a man in the England squad, who's got experience in leading their team to winning silverware, it's Henderson. Like, I know that's people will overlook it and say that he was only wearing the armband, but there's a reason why he's wearing the armband. He does deserve it. By the way, guys, smash a like for anyone who's just tuned in. Go subscribe to Saeed as well. We made this live last minute. We thought we'd do the match reaction, the squad announcement reaction. I think people need to lay off Calvin Phillips in the chat, though. I think he's easily...
You know what it is? I'm not...
top 2 best midfielders.
I'm not going against
him. He's England's top 2. Maybe Jude Bellingham as well, but top 2, top 3 England's best midfielders in terms of the system that they play as well. He needs to play. He needs to be there. I know lack of football for City, but that's for City. Like, we know that Rodri was shit in his first season. We know that loads of players was, and they turn out to be an amazing player. Calvin Phillips was an amazing player at Leeds. You know, even Conor Gallagher to a degree. I'll give him some slack because he's shown that he can step up to the plate for Palace. Why can't he come off the bench and do something for England as well? You know, I just think that the options... Like, honestly, this is why I always say Gareth Southgate just needs to go, because other managers could maximise these technical ability players. Because if we went on a more technical basis, Saeed, we're looking at Gallagher and thinking, oh, that's boss. We're looking at Calvin Phillips thinking, go ahead, he's all right for a CDM in terms of a technical ability. And then you look at the forwards, that's where you think we probably struggle. But if you get everyone else to create those chances for a Harry Kane...
that's true, you know. You could afford to have a Phillips who just sits in there and just kind of like does his little... methodical.
Let Grealish and whoever do his thing. I think under a better manager, Sancho could be within a shout. He just needs to improve his form. Yeah. That's all it is. Much improvement.
I think ultimately, though, it comes down to the fact that how the manager deploys these players. Does he go with, like I said, 2 holding midfielders? He can easily deploy Declan Rice in that 6th role, have Jude Bellingham in a forward advanced 8 role, and then have a Mason Mount. But then again, I still think Mason Mount isn't a 10. Like, we could have 2 8s in Mason Mount and Jude Bellingham that are up and down, but it's the way he uses it. He uses Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice as 2 sitters when Jude Bellingham isn't that sort of player. And this is the problem. And if we play in a back 5, it then has to be a what formation? A 5-3-2. Wouldn't it be? It depends on obviously the fullbacks. So then again, it's like...
It depends what budge that Southgate's smoking that day, and then he'll come to a conclusion and say, yeah, man, I'll do this today, play Harry Maguire and that. It's fucking mad, you know, that the way he still...
Yeah. He could play Rashford and Kane, and then have Rashford as a guy that's going to be the one that's going to be running, and then Mount just in behind them, and then have the 2 holding midfielders. He could do it like that. But again, it's just it's very, very much a case of what he does. If we're sitting back and it's a 7 at the back, and then you only have 3 going forward, then we're fucked. We are literally screwed. So it comes down to Matt.
I want to read a comment from Kazi, and you're bang on, Saeed. It's everything to do with the manager. It's why we could have the 11 best players in the world, and I still don't think we do anything.
Yeah,
but a comment here says, I'm not saying Phillips is rubbish, but his match fitness, conditioning and sharpness are all down because he hasn't been playing. I'm not even sure he's back to training yet. And this is why I love live streams, because it opens discussion. It gets people countering your arguments. And as much as I rate Calvin Phillips, Kazi is bang on. The lack of match fitness in a high-intense tournament against teams whose players has been playing, that's a factor. That's a huge factor. And I don't put it out of the realms of possibility of him starting every game, and really you're probably looking at maybe Jude, who should be playing every game. But the point that I'm trying to make, though, Saeed, is that we're not a team that's suited for 5 at the back. We've got loads of centre-backs, but only a few good ones. Tamori, I'd say, is a good one. I like... Is it Guay? Guay from Palace?
Matt Gay. Yeah.
Mark Gay, he's brilliant. Stones.
Stones.
And then who else? There is.
You know what he'll do, though?
Surely got to be someone else.
He will put Trippier as the left back, and then he'll put Trent as right back. I don't even think he'll play Shaw. He will find a way of putting Trippier in there. If it's either, I don't know, he might even do one of them situations where he'll put.
He's got Kyle Walker.
But he will, bro. He's played Trippier in the World Cup, and I feel like he'll do something mad again where he'll put Trippier on the left wing back. Like, seriously, like, this guy is a madman, Southgate. He will try and do something crazy. Even Kyle Walker, like, has he been playing last couple of games? When's the last time he's been playing, Kyle Walker?
I'm not too sure. I know that he's been injured recently, hasn't he? Let us know in the chat when Kyle Walker last played.
You got Maguire, Kyle Walker, Phillips that have not been playing for their respective clubs in a while. That's the spine of the squad. You know what I mean?
Well, you can use Kyle Walker as a centre back as well, can't you? I'm intrigued as well. It's saying my Wi-Fi is a bit bummy, so I apologise if that's ever.
No, it's all right.
What I was going to ask you though, Saeed, is it Belter? Smashing. Trent and Trippier as the full-backs. I think that's very possible. Would you rather play Luke Shaw as the wing-back with the fact there's no Chilwell, or... Like, because he hasn't got many options. It's either Shaw or Trippier that you play left back. Trippier's being in better form, but Luke Shaw's had good form for England, so I don't know. Yeah. I'd probably say Luke Shaw should play the majority of the games if you're going off that.
Problem, though. Luke Shaw should play there, but I think the manager will go what we don't think. Maddison should play in this England team over Mount, but Mount will play in that number 10 role. This is the problem. Like, this is why it just infuriates me. And I think he will go with Saka, Sterling, and Kane. I think that's will be his front three. Saka on the right, Sterling on the left, Harry Kane through the middle. That's what he's going to go with. Mount. If I was to give you my England team right now, it'd be... This is what Southgate's picking, by the way. It's going to be Pickford in goal. Right wing back, it will be Trent. I think left wing back, it will be Trippier. It will be.
Do you think this is possible? Before you carry on, Saeed, do you think this is possible? Saka playing left wing back?
But he's brought him in there because that could be an extra addition as well. He's very, very adaptable. So Saka can do that role. So again, that's good decision making. Rarity that he's brought him in there. Again, we can play different roles. Yeah. I think he'll play Kyle Walker, Stones, and Maguire as the 3 centre backs. He will go with. I think Calvin Phillips isn't going to be fit enough for me. I think he will play Bellingham and Declan Rice for the first game until Calvin Phillips gets his fitness up. Them two. And then have Mount in front of them. And then, like I said, he will have Saka on the right, Sterling on the left, and Harry Kane through the middle. So it'll be a 5-3. It'll be a 5. No, it'll be a 3-4-3. That's what you'll go with. 3-4-3. Yeah. You tell me what you think.
I'm not going to lie, I pretty much agree. Near enough man for man as well. I think that's going to be the way he sets up, and then he'll make the odd little change in the odd game here and there. And I don't think that sets you up for success, because I don't think there's no pressure in that team. I don't think there's no incentive. I feel like it's just the same shit. And like you said, it's good to bring Saka and stuff, but you have to. Who else are you going to bring other than Saka? Saeed, from your perspective, I think it'd be interesting for most people to hear. Do you think that Trent should have went to the World Cup? Because in my opinion, I think just based on the merit that Reece James is injured.
Of course.
And Chilwell. And Chilwell being injured is a factor, because if you have Chilwell and Luke Shaw, you don't have to consider Trippier as a left back. You can consider him fully as a right back, which means you've then got, sorry, that's my phone just kicking off. But then you've got, at right back, you've got, like if you have Reece James, you'd have Kieran Trippier, you'd have Kyle Walker. That's 3 people who, in Southgate's eyes, suits his system more. So then if you want to use Trent as the Saka type player where you can play him in midfield sometimes, or bring him off the bench if you need a little bit more offensiveness at right back, then you can use him there. So off that premise, Saeed, do you think that Trent should have been taken to the World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, like I said, we can have the ban, Trent can't defend this and that, but I think for me, we haven't got many right backs. Obviously, he wouldn't be my first choice right back because he would have been Trent. Sorry, it would have been Reece James. The fact that he's there, we haven't got many right backs as well. I think obviously Trippier can play there, but again, he'll be suited to the left now. But other than that, I think for me, it's the right decision. And he might thrive in his system now in a wing back system because he might not be told to defend as much 1v1, and that will help him out a lot. The fact that he hasn't, and he won't be able to kind of do all the defensive duties, that will help him out a lot. So I think for me, Trent, being in there, like I said, it will do him confidence. And I think for me, England, he might have a break where he feel like, you know what, it might be a good break for him as well. The fact that he's playing for England might take all the stress away, because club football and international, they're 2 different things, man. And I think sometimes it helps them as well. That they're playing away with the lads, the different country as well.
It's facts, and it's actually a season definer for Trent, because if he can go and have a good World Cup and make an influence, not only is he cementing himself a possible future position in the England team if he has a good World Cup, but he's also coming back to Liverpool as someone who's done us proud on international duty. And say if he does go away, gets a few assists, puts in a few good defensive performances, say he gets a crucial assist in the semi-finals or the final, that's already solidifying your World Cup as a successful one. So I just hope he gets given the chances. I hope he gets given the license to go forward. I just don't think in that system, not just Trent, I think it's hard for a lot of people who are really good at footy to thrive. I don't see Bellingham having a good World Cup for that reason. I don't see Maddison having the most exciting, flary players. I don't see them having a good time just purely based on that system. I don't think it makes sense. That's why I'm going for Brazil, lads. Brazil. Lads, Danny Alves is going to win the World Cup at 39, Saeed. You heard it here first. You know what? I told you Danny Alves would get chosen over Emerson Royale. You fucking lad. I knew it. I knew it,
39-year-old, you know. It's crazy. 39, mate. Better than bloody 23-year-old Emerson. You know what it is, though? Like, I feel like with Brazil, I just think everyone's favourite in it, and the fact that they've got the flair, they've got the excitement, and I think, you know what I mean, like Uruguay.
They've also got the balance, though, Saeed. They've also got like they've got a good defence, they've got a very solid midfield, many options in CDM, and then when you move forward, that's where the excitement happens. That's when the violins start to play from other teams. You know what I mean, Saeed? Because I'm telling you now, when you see Neymar bouncing through doing the McGregor walk, Vinicius Jr. just absolutely seething, Saeed.
Yeah, cool.
Furthermore, you've got Gabriel Jesus, who's just on smoke. You've got Gabriel Martinelli on smoke. I've been having arguments with Liverpool fans the past few days because Firmino weren't chosen for the Brazil squad, right? And I said, well, if Richarlison's really good for Brazil, which he is, then you've got Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, who've both had, granted, Firmino's been boss, but they've both had better seasons than Firmino.
Mm-hmm. And he works for them as well. Yeah.
You've got Anthony as well. Who does Firmino go above? Because, just compare him to the people in his position. Richarlison, again, really good for Brazil. Martinelli and Jesus deserve it in terms of form. So who does he go above?
Exactly.
You can't fit Firmino in there unless there's an injury.
That's it. And this is literally the situation. And I think he's unfortunate. I think he did deserve a spot. But again, it's the same thing with Maguire for England. It works for England. And this one works for Brazil. It works for him at Brazil. And this is why Richarlison picked over. He has more goals in the last how many appearances. It works well for him. They're interchangeable, the front three as well. This is the thing as well. The front three are so interchangeable that it's scary. Richarlison can go on the right. Neymar can go through the middle. Neymar can go on the left. Richarlison can go on the right. They're so there's such a kind of adaptability amongst them that it suits what Brazil are doing. And Firmino, at his age right now, I don't think he can do that anymore. Maybe 6 years ago, but not now. Firmino now is touching 31 now. I think he's suited to one role only, and that's why he's living what he can do.
To be fair, apparently there was this kid from the Brazilian league, like a striker from the Brazilian league who's gone above Firmino. But guys, if you don't watch the Brazilian league and you don't watch this attacker, like, with all due respect, just try and not talk, because you don't know the reasoning of bringing this player. You don't know if he's a young player who they're thinking about developing into the team over time. Or if maybe he's really got a good basis in his technical ability and understanding and stuff like that. What, Theo Walcott? Yeah, lad.
Theo Walcott.
Are you on to that Dortmund striker who's going with Germany because Timo Werner got injured?
Oh, see, that's what I mean, man. Just imagine that story.
Lukaku.
Like 17, Makayoko. Like,
lad, the German Pele, lad. The German Pele coming into the business.
The German Pele is going. Like, that's what I'm saying. And that's why, for me, it's a good thing that we're having this kind of discussion. And you know what? It's for me, you know, it's sorry that, you know, certain players are not making a World Cup, but you know what I mean? Some people have got to step in, and that's just unfortunate, you know? But it's crazy, though. 17, the first World Cup. Imagine, like, looking back on it now, thinking, "Doddy, what was I doing at 17, man? Egging schools and that. I'm egging doors and schools and that. It's crazy.
Having 5-a-sides at the pits and that. You're right there, you know, Saeed.
I'm telling you, man.
Crazy. Hey guys, we're gonna Saeed, have you got 5 or 10 more minutes?
Yeah, of course, man, of course, bro. Yeah, man.
Guys, we're gonna do about 5 or 10 more minutes live stream. If you can share, if you can go and subscribe to Saeed, if you can smash those likes, because it gets the videos more out there, which means me and Saeed can do this on a more day-to-day basis. Also, the super chats help as well, so thank you for the super chat. My friends, NS Sports TV, a question for you both: which goal did your team concede that made you sit back and say, fair play, there was no saving that? My one, the first one that popped in my brain was Jamie Vardy, Leicester, when he scored over Dejan Lovren. Do you remember when Jamie Vardy was having that season? He just fucking swung at it, and it was unbelievable. That was the first one for me. Great question, by the way.
Yeah.
Any other questions like that? Give it to us, chat. Give it to us.
Yeah, give it to us. Yeah, I'm trying to think. You know, a shot that went in and. Just because obviously, you know, David De Gea has been quite good with certain things, with saving. I'm trying to think. I think there was a James Ward-Prowse free kick a couple of years ago, and I think for me it was so, like, I was right behind the goal, and I remember it just being so clean, the free kick, like it had no chance, and there was no chance of saving it. I'd probably say that one, you know, but on top of my head, you've put me on the spot, so I'm going to think. Remember the Zlatan one as well, the Zlatan one. England. That was unbelievable. Nobody had a chance.
Wait there. Is that question just to say a good goal? So wait there. Question for you both: did your team concede a goal that made you think fair play? There was no saving that. Oh yeah, no saving. So it's got to be a Walesy goal, because what I was thinking is Coutinho. When Coutinho scored against Hughes in the Europa League, that was like such a fair play goal, but
in a tight angle, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, this one here, Benteke against Liverpool. First Liverpool against us. Remember that one?
Against United. Yeah, the most constellation. That's probably the greatest, most constellation goal of all time. Like, honestly, in terms of a goal that meant absolutely nothing, that goal was fucking sublime, mate. Yeah. Benteke, he was a weird one, you know, Saeed.
Yeah. And Martin Talley got a weird one. Didn't encapsulate the moment, man. If it was Peter Drury, it would have been better. Higher free kick as well.
I thought Benteke was decent, though, because he was just better than Balotelli. I was like, he's better than Balotelli, lad, so I'll fucking take it. I'll take whatever I can get. I love that. Are you playing Europa League tonight, Saeed?
No, we're playing. No, it's not really. It's the competition. It's the Carabao Cup tonight. It's a trophy that I'm not trying to disrespect, because Chelsea are out, Arsenal are out, and Tottenham are out. So listen,
it's a great chance to just go for it.
Hold that L. You lot are in the mud. No trophy for you lot. Tonight, sit back, enjoy us. Hey?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking about the Arsenal fans in the mud right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Arsenal fans, you little measly bastards. Can't win a League Cup, can yous?
Exactly, mate. So tonight, enjoy United versus Aston Villa. I think we'll beat them. And you know what? I want to win this trophy. I want to win it. I'm shameless. I want to go to Wembley and be shameless at winning the Carabao Cup. Like you guys were. Like, come on, man. It's a trophy, isn't it?
fucking brilliant. I mean, we got 2, so we had even more of a right to be boasting over our 2 trophies. But I was very, very happy when Quiveen Kelleher, the main man, by the way, lad, he's 4-0, 4-0 in penalty shootouts, and he's only had 18 appearances for the club.
Mate, this guy, honestly, we had a Romero like that, but this guy is so clutch, man. Like, seriously.
Isn't it fucking mad?
He's that type of guy, yeah, that I think for me, people just don't appreciate enough. Like, you need a Kelleher in your squad. Don't get me wrong, he'd probably want to be the main man sooner or later. But right now, like, he is a perfect backup keeper. Doesn't moan, but when he comes in every single game that I see him, he has a top game. Like, bro, this is our Romero. Like, he used to be like that for us.
Yeah, he's 24. Do you know what though, lads? Tell me a backup goalkeeper who's had a bigger impact on their team than Kelleher. Because not to mention that he's had 4 shootouts. So there was Arsenal 5-5 a couple of years ago, won that shootout. Leicester City in the League Cup last season, won that shootout. Chelsea in a League Cup final, Saeed. A League Cup final.
He was so influential to win us the Europa League. So, but for me, Kelleher, man, I can't lie to you. Right now, he's that kind of guy that where, you know how I feel like, but you're looking at Ortega yesterday. I feel like number 2s right now, they get looked down upon, like, and they don't really be given the kind of shining light because you're so like Alisson and Edison. They're the 2 main guys. We don't give enough respect to the guys up below them. But I think for me, did you watch Finger's performance yesterday? Ortega.
Whose performance?
Oh, man. Ortega for Man City against Chelsea. Obviously, you were watching the game, but he was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And I was like, you know what, Edison, watch out for your position, mate, because he was good on his feet. His distribution was good. Like, he's a very, very technical keeper. And also, his actual shot stopping reflexes were unbelievable. So, listen, I think for me, fair play to him, mate. Fair play to him.
No, lads, do you know what? I heard about that name, though, Saeed. I'll need to go and have a look, because City have just got loads of young ballers, lad, that I want to have
100%, man. Check it out. Trust me. Check it out. Honestly.
Do you know who I recommend you keep an eye on for us, though, Saeed? Ben Doak. Ben Doak, brilliant player, used to play for Celtic. We got him in our youth academy. He came on yesterday. I know it was against Derby, but lad, he was fucking...
Where does he play?
Like
right back?
The dribbling. Midfielder.
Okay.
He's a midfielder, isn't he, chat? Like a forward midfielder type, like James Maddison type player. Let me know in the chat. But I was impressed with some of our youngsters yesterday. I was very impressed with him. Fabio Carvalho just oozes class.
You know what, though? Let me tell you something. I think Liverpool low-key, yeah. Listen, I don't want to be, we could have the banter here, but I do think your future does look bright. I do think your future is bright, though. You've got the right back, the Scottish right back. You've got Carvalho. You've got the kid. What's the kid that Harvey Elliott? Obviously Nunez is still young. Obviously we bought him for good money. Konate. You got Tsimikas is fairly young still. How old is Tsimikas?
Tsimikas is 20. I believe he's 26, but in terms of mileage, he's still got plenty of time left in the game.
Mileage. You have got like a good basis. You've got that Morton kid as well in midfield, who I don't know if he's going to be, obviously, is he highly rated for a Liverpool fan base? I'm not sure. But you know what?
Ramsey also has looked really good whenever he's played. And against Derby, it's the best defensive performance I've seen from a right back this season. I know it's against Derby. I'm just saying, in terms of an individual performance in a red shirt, that's probably the best one I've seen from a right back this year.
So you do have say now, obviously with your owners and whatnot, you do have a kind of basis to kind of go, you know what? We're not going to go and get absolutely everyone, but we're going to bring in a certain few players. But then Carvalho, Harvey Elliott will be the future. Konate is the future. You got obviously Ramsey the future. Like, you have got players in there that can step up. Trent's still 24. You know what I mean? Like, as much as we say he's been around for a long while, he's still 24. So again, you know what I mean? Like I said, you've still got a future as well with the players that you've got coming in. So
it's crazy because we've even. Do you know the Trent goal against Barcelona? Like, corner taken quickly. So there's a ball boy. There's a ball boy who gives the ball to Trent really fast, and that ball boy was Oakley Cannonier. Now Oakley Cannonier still plays in our youth academy, and he's got like 40 goals. I think it's like 40 goals in the under-18s. Chat, let me know. I think he's got like 40 goals or something like that. He's a forward. Leighton Stewart, who played last night, looked really good. Bobby Clark, he's another one that we've got to shout out as well. I think, honestly, Saeed, I think it's absolutely true that you're saying that we've got a decent academy, and it probably gets overlooked. I think it's just because we haven't saw them in the team yet is the reason why we've still got these questions and whatever have you about. Do we know if we've got a good academy? But if you look at United, you've got Garnacho, you've got, like, in terms of really promising people coming through.
We've got Kobe Mino, we've got Iqbal, who for me, I'm so excited about seeing. We've got
he's the one who I was trying to think of. Lad, he looks decent. He actually looks proper decent.
Very, very good. Charlie Savage. We've got there's Alvaro Fernandez, the left back.
Is he that Savage's son? Is he that?
His son. Yeah, he's his son.
Is he good?
Yeah, very, very good. You know what I mean? Technically gifted. We've got Charlie McNeil up front, who again I'm still itching to see up front because I feel like I'm not saying he's going to be the next Harry Kane, but you know what? I'm hoping he's our next Harry Kane. So let's see what happens with that one. And then
is Chong still kicking about?
Nah, man, he's at Birmingham, man. Big up, he's at Birmingham right now.
I love the way he started to include Chong.
Nah, mate, he's sold. He's out the team, mate. He's gone. We've got Hannibal as out alone.
Do you like Palestri as well?
Palestri's good, but I think for me, he's just not been given a chance. He's just one of them players, like, you know how you have them players that came out young. You had what's that guy at Lazio that you guys had, and now he's brilliant at Lazio. What's his name, man?
Luis Alberto.
Luis Alberto. You had another one as well called Suso.
Suso. Suso.
This is basically our Suso. I bet you he'll go to another league and he'll go to another league and he'll do well and he'll blist it up. And then we're like, in about 3-4 years, we'll be like, we need to go buy that player. No, his release cost is about 60 million euros. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Why did you do that? So,
do you want to know one of the biggest conspiracy theories in football? Yeah. I do not know how, in the name of Sweet Nancy Francis, Iago Aspas never worked at Liverpool. How the fuck did he come to Liverpool, get known for that shitty corner that he took against Chelsea, I believe, and then he goes to La Liga and continues to be one of the greatest strikers that league's ever seen?
Man. It's so underrated, man. And every single time, this brother on FIFA, I always get done over by Iago Aspas on FIFA. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. Every single time he's got this unbelievable card. I'm like, bloody hell, why is he in form again? Yeah, he's banging in goals in La Liga. And it's just like, you know what I mean?
It's fucking weird. One more question, Saeed, and then we'll round it up there. I want to ask the chat this, so we'll get everyone involved. Who has a better academy, Manchester United or Liverpool? So when we talk about the current crop of young stars that both have, who has got the higher quality? Because we don't know the ins and outs of each academy overall, which one's better. But right now, on the current crop of players, who has a better youth academy? Because I think we're in for a shout, you know. Because with the enforcements of Ben Doak, I think Ben Doak, Kate Gordon, who's injured at the moment, but again, very young prospect. Fabio Carvalho, who, in fact, I won't include him because that's not the academy. That's not the academy, you're right, you're bang on. Ben Doak. Okay.
Yeah, go on. I think we've got more quality.
United,
I think we've got more depth. I think we've got more.
But who comes out of your academy, though?
For me, watch out for this guy, Kobe Mino. Honestly, like, when you look at Paul Popper's game and the way he plays and just the physical specimen at 17, like, this guy will literally be one of the world's best. Like, I'm not even trying to predict like a massive future for him or whatnot. I'm trying, make sure he goes downhill or whatnot. Like, honestly, this guy is so good at 17. He's unbelievable. I think Zidane Iqbal's got a better future. He's got a good future. I just think we've got more quality. I think you guys have got, don't get me wrong, talent, and I think it's going to be, they'll shine. But I think ultimately ours might have a higher ceiling than yours. That's just my opinion. But let me tell you something. Man City, they're clear.
Let's not even talk.
Nobody can Man City.
This is different conversations. Do you know what? I'll concede it because I've always said that I'm on the same page as X6. I've always conceded that we haven't got a great academy. It's something we should look at improving based on not just getting players in, but the revenue that it generates. Having a great academy, players always coming in and out, and the way you can balance financial fair play and whatever have you. But the comment here is, Hamez, we haven't had any youngsters from the academy come into the scene. It's United. But on that same premise, yes, we've only had Trent and Curtis Jones. But who have United had besides Marcus Rashford in recent times? That's done anything really decent.
Number 11, that's obviously out at the minute. Mason Greenwood.
Very fair, and I'm not just going to
discredit him
because of everything that he's done. But okay. So if he makes it to the top, we just never knew what was going to happen with him because there was a spell there where
he's probably the best talent that's come through. If I'm being honest,
in terms of talent, but he was inconsistent for a minute there as well, though. So I feel like the jury, lack of a better term, the jury was still out on Greenwood.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think for me, he from when he came in, he set a house on fire, and he was just excellent since. So
I thought he was a great finisher. I just think putting his game together is something that we didn't still see him do. Does that make sense? His finishing, I thought he was up there with some of the best finishers. These strikers, like the best strikers in the league.
I think for me as well, Angel Gomez got harshly done by. I think he could have been a very, very good. You know what it is? I don't like the idea that just because he was sold doesn't make you a good player. Like he didn't get opportunities. I think for me, Angel Gomez was a top player. Again, I think his height was made an issue when reality, Harvey Elliott, what's he like 5'6" or something? So it doesn't make it a kind of a situation where it needs to be stressed about. So I think for me, Angel Gomez, who else has been good? I think this.
You need to talk to this guy though, bruv. He's trying to sneak in Dean Henderson like we wouldn't notice. He needs to shut up, man. Everyone else fair, not Dean Henderson.
Tida Menji, I think for me that could have been someone. I think he's still 19, 20, but he's just been injured. I think he could have been a kind of a player that you thought, what a beast. You know what I mean? In terms of,
I'm trying to think of the ones that we've missed out on. John Flanagan, who a lot of people don't like, but he's one that kind of came and went. He was the Scouse Cafu for the moment there, apparently. What else? Who else did we have that came through? Curtis Jones. What?
Nico
Williams. I thought that was good. He just weren't better than Trent. That's all it was. It was just, you're not better than Trent. We'll still get 15 million for you. But yeah, you sound. Curtis Jones, I don't know if he's going to fulfill a really successful career at Liverpool.
We had a guy called Wilson. I don't know.
Oh, the striker.
He was
Striker Wilson.
Yeah. I remember him. We had another guy called, I forgot what his name was in the chat. It was a winger. He plays for
we
Wales.
had Brewster as well. Brewster, who was another one. Twanzebe. That clip of you talking about Twanzebe.
Twanzebe. Honestly, man.
Twanzebe!
Please, man. Honestly,
guys, if you haven't saw that clip, you need to check it out. Let me just read this there quick.
You know Curtis Jones, by the way, I think for me, he gets a bit overrated. I don't think he's that player that people think he is. I'm not going to lie to you. He's not special in any sort of way.
He's not special in any way.
I don't think he has any star qualities that I look at and think, would I want him in my team? Is he someone that I think for me, I think still young is what he's 22, can get better as with age goes past. But I don't know. I just look at Curtis Jones and I think the player that I thought he was going to be, I don't think he is. You know what I mean? Like when he was coming through.
I can agree with that. Yeah. He's one of those. He's got a good technical base. But otherwise, it's you're just not going to be good enough for us. At least I don't think, and I'd love to be proven wrong. It's just, if he was to have proven us wrong by now, why hasn't he had a consistent run of games like Harvey Elliott has? Maybe it's just to do with the fact he's not good enough.
Maybe. There you go.
And when you've got Harvey there, where's the place for Curtis? Because we need two world-class midfielders next to Harvey, and Curtis isn't that.
I feel like he needs to go to like a club like Brighton, where I think, and go to a club and just perform. Like you know how James Ward-Prowse excels in a team where it's just everybody's on the same level. Like Curtis Jones, just go back to where there's no expectation from you, and then excel in that, and then go back to the club that you probably want to go to. You know?
Yeah. This is how I know I've got a smart audience on this channel. Curtis has flair but lacks decision making. He needs a full season of football like Dortmund. Exactly. So all we're saying here is not that Curtis Jones is shit. He's just not good enough to get into the Liverpool team, which is what everyone always thought he could have ended up doing. And Curtis Jones, you're right, I think at Dortmund, that'd be a perfect place. It'd be a place in the Bundesliga where you get a lot more space, a lot more time to think, which helps the decision making. It also, the technical ability will translate nicely over to that league. I think Dortmund or Bayer Leverkusen, a team that's taken on young, hungry players, I think that would be perfect for Curtis either to go out on loan for 2 seasons to like a 2-year loan deal, or sell him for 20 million and just hope for the best. Get a buyback clause or something and bring them back if you want. Because he's Scouse, he might want to come back. But right now, I just think we're wasting the potential of him improving just by having him on the bench. I do. I think he needs minutes. And unlike Harvey, who went out on loan at Blackburn and stuff like that, Curtis is someone who's not had that full season in the men's game.
Yeah.
He hasn't had that yet, so
no, he hasn't. And this is the thing, and this is where you either have it or you don't. And Jurgen Klopp has needed him for the last 2 seasons, and he hasn't even given him anything to kind of be like, you know what, you've got my back. Whereas I think Harvey Elliott he knows that's his guy. You know what I mean? He can rely on him.
Facts.
Stones can't be relied upon. That's it.
I agree. We've went a lot longer than what we were supposed to, Saeed. So I really appreciate
it's so good, man. Big up the community, man. The chat has kept us going. So big up the chat, big up the community.
That was what made me lose track of time. I was thinking to myself, okay, we're not going to get many people coming into this stream because it's last minute. It's about England. Who cares about England? But apparently everyone does. And thank you for everyone who tunes in.
Come on,
last super chat from Jack Rose. Shout out to Amir, who sent a super chat before as well, by the way. But Jack says, it's coming home. Simple as Maddison turns me on. Well in, lad. Well in.
Chill out, mate.
He's a United fan as well, Jack Rose. He's a United. He's a long time.
Mate. Chill, lad. Chill. Don't put our name in that, mate. But yeah, listen.
Whack a pause at the end of it.
If anyone's from this chat is a United fan and is coming to the game,
who?
Anybody who meets me at the ground today can win. Can basically take this home. So anybody who's at the game, so anybody who's watching right now is at the game tonight. And I put it on Instagram, by the way. So anyone who meets me first at the ground, you take this home for free. So
wow! Guys! Saeed is not only giving you free, luxurious content. He's giving you fucking look at that. That'd be if I was a United fan, I'd be all over that every single day. From my perspective, that's just a photo of some random fella who thinks he's good at football. But from a United perspective, come on, you've got to go. Go over to Old Trafford, say hello to Saeed. He's harmless. And you can even get yourself a photo.
Take it on with you.
Pick up to you, Saeed.
Look
at you taking care of the community. But no, guys, go subscribe. Go subscribe to Saeed. Go check him out at Old Trafford later on. It's been a belter. And me and Saeed will see you wonderful people in a bizzle. Peace out.
Big up.